Alright, hello guys, welcome back. And leo tutaendelea na Java. We are going to proceed with Java ambayo it's kind of specific for Android. Java for Android. So concept ambazo tutaenda kujifunza hapa will be mainly for Android, but we will deep dive into Java itself because these concepts are really important for you to know Android. To understand Android itself. Okay, now without wasting time, now let's dive right into business itself. Right here nimefungua editor, which is IntelliJ AD editor, and it's kind of familiar with Android. It looks like an Android studio, but it's not Android studio. This is mainly specific for Java only. So hapa unaangalia kuna this code, and this is pretty much basic Java code. Every Java program lazima itakuwa na hiki kitu. It should have at least one class. You see, have this main class, and it should have this one main method. So keep that in mind. Every Java program should have at least one class and should have at least one method. Okay, don't worry about this keywords. Is in a keyword. This words that have been highlighted with different color, we're going to cover them as we are moving. Okay, now leo tutaenda kuangalia Java in perspective of object-oriented programming. Okay, in object-oriented programming we have this concept of class, object, so we're going to see all those kinds of stuff, and then I think it will be really nice. And by the way, I have tutorial about object-oriented programming itself, and I'm going to put link in the description below so you can check it out and see what is it. Now let me explain this to you. As I said before, I make it very clear that every Java program should have at least one class here. Now the question is, what is class? So the simple answer to that one is class is simply a blueprint. It's just a blueprint. Is kind of structure to create an object. Okay, what do I mean by saying this? Let me show it by example. Now let's come to this source folder here and add another class. So another Java class, and call it animal. So you just hit enter and it's going to create a class for you. So right here we have public class, with class with animal name. Now this is just a structure to create animal object. Okay, now what do we mean by saying structure? It means it has some predefined properties and methods that will be used once we want to create an object. For example, let me say, because the animal may have names, so we say string name. So this name will belong to the animal objects we are going to create. Anyway, you're going to understand me as we are moving. And then let's say animal may have color, so string color. So one thing to keep in mind is that I'm not going to show you the basic stuffs of Java, like creating variable. No, because this is kind of intermediate Java programming. You should know how to create variable, right? Whatever. If you don't know how to create variables in Java, I also have complete tutorial for Java itself, how to create variables, arrays, and all those kinds of stuff. But whatever, now let's just move. So this is how to create variable. And I assign name it, but this one is undefined, doesn't have name, right? So you can put access modifier here and say public. Don't worry, you're going to see what is access modifier just soon. Okay, but it's not really important to put this one, because by default, if you don't put any access modifier before this variable name, it's going to be public, unless otherwise you want to put private. Okay, like that, but you can just leave it as this way. Okay, now what we create here is a class of animal with these two properties. Now let's add another thing like method. You can say I'm so sorry. So let's say we're gonna put a return type void, and the name of method, animal can move, maybe see move. So animal have this method of move. Okay, so it doesn't return anything, but let's say this is going to output something. SOUT is the shortcut to get this system out print line, and say, let's say this animal is moving. Okay, so that's perfect. Okay, now we have this method move. Now in perspective of object-oriented programming, these are called properties of animal class, and these are called methods of animal class, right? Keep that in mind. Once this one is not used in object-oriented programming, this will be variable and this will be function. But once you find this, once you find this function and variables inside a class, they are called as properties, and this will be method of this class. All right, now let's just move on. Now we're going to use these methods and properties while we are creating animal that belongs to this class. Okay, so now let's say inside our static main void, static void main, where it's the entry point of our program, let's just import this animal class we just created here, and now let's try to use it here. Okay, animal. So if I just try that, I write that animal there and say animal is equal to new animal. But this way I create an object of this class. Okay, so the main aim of creating this is to get these properties of this class and the method. Now let's give it a try. Let's say animal dot write time. When I just put, when I just put this dot symbol here, you can see all those properties and methods are just going to be, ID is trying to show them in an intelligence panel. You can see right here. So let me just put move here. So this is a way of accessing method. Una access method kwa kutumia dot operator. Okay, so we could say also animal dot color, right? So by that way I'm accessing this color property here. Okay, and you can use also, color. So you can assign something to it, whatever if you like, by animal. Okay, dot name. So you can assign also that name. So let's just say this animal is lion. Okay, that is lion, the name of it. Color, let's say what colors animal, and what's the color of lion? Red. I'm not really sure, but just saying that, whatever. So I have this property. So this way is way of accessing properties of a class. So what I want you to note here is class is a blueprint. Okay, it's just a blueprint of creating an object. You can see. So we use this and we define this structure so that once we want to create an object of this class, we can use this structure. So that's all. That's enough for now. Keep that in mind. Only that for now. So thank you very much. See you in the next coming tutorial. But before moving on, let's just try to run if it's working really fine. Give it a try. Okay. Just wait a second. It's building. Okay. Oh yeah, it's finished. Now let's see output. It say this animal is moving, and this message is coming from this method. You see, here this animal is moving. All right, thank you very much. See you in the next coming lesson. Stay tuned.